the recording. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, Coaching Tank members. We are ready for our Tuesday in the Tank to get the oxygen that we need. How many are feeling a little bit less trying to breathe in this business? Whatever is going on, we always need fresh, new oxygen to keep us going. We're on the surface of maybe getting to a place where I want to go deeper. That's where I want to go. And I'm going to require that much more oxygen to get there. So that's what Coaching CTO2 is all about. And today I'm actually going to encourage you and hopefully really bring about this new desire to revive a traditional technique that has worked forever, actually, no matter what type of sales industry that's out there, whether you're selling Kirby vacuums, whether you were selling encyclopedias back in the day. If you can relate, when I was small, they would sell encyclopedias door to door. People are introducing services like termite or landscape, whatever it is. Door to door has been a tremendous and very effective way to prospect and to generate leads, and it should not die. And I want to help you all revive it, as I'm also reviving it myself and finding how much I like it again, how much it feels really good to get back out there and just see what's happening in the neighborhoods, who's really keeping up their homes. You get to learn a lot when you knock on someone's door and see what's happening in the front lawn and in the backyard, and who's working on their homes and who's dressing things up. And you never know who you're going to meet. That's really the key to it. But you've got to have a plan. And so we're going to talk about just reviving it. And I really want to hopefully open it up for some discussion, and then we get some more people to come in. But discussion's important because we learn from each other. So as always, let me go ahead and share my screen. And let's go ahead and get started. There we are. All right. So we are going to revive door knocking, and it requires a campaign. It requires a plan, right? It requires this intention, if you will, because without the intention, it's not going to make any sense. And what I mean by that is we can have a door knocking party on a very specific type of campaign. Let's say, you just listed a property and it's not an area that you really are choosing to, I'm going to work on this area, I'm going to target these people, but that's, I call a door knocking event. Okay. So if you have just listed a property, someone in your office has just listed a property, you have just sold a property, or you're in your own neighborhood, you didn't get the listing, and it's an out of area agent. Good gracious, right? So you've got this 626, 818, whatever area code that's outside of where you are, and they've listed a property and you're going, nope, this is the area I work. So I am going to go on a door knocking party and start talking to my neighbors about what just got listed, see if they want to see it, and find out what's going on. So door knocking has so many amazing opportunities and ways to kind of revive and get your ideas going. So this is what I'm hoping and wanting to do with all of you today. So door knocking in 2023, will it still work? So it's not a rhetorical question. I mean, you either give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Do you believe that door knocking will still work in 2023? Yes or no? Okay, let me take a look at the chat because I got to pull it down over here. All right, so I got 2 yeses. Okay, so then we agree that it can work. And let's talk about some of the reasons why. I want to talk about the power of traditional techniques. And yes, it's in farming is not knocking, right? It is completely different, but it has its unique similarities, right? Because if you're farming, and I don't use that word very much anymore because it is old school word. I call it territory management, which is very much something that's being done even with door knocking. And I want to bring that up today. So in traditional techniques, the word farming comes from planting those seeds and staying in a particular area to watch that grow. You're sowing that and planting for this harvest. in the traditional technique of door knocking, there is such a huge importance of human interaction. And it's been lost. It's being lost in the digital world unless you're using TikTok and Instagram and you're using YouTube. Then they can see you, they can feel your vibe, they can feel your energy, they can see your smile, and they get to have this, okay, I think I can connect with this person. But for me, there's a trust factor. I spelled the word there wrong. I did my spell check. Oh, I don't like when I spell words wrong. The trust factor comes into play where there's this instinct that people pick up on. And that happens face to face. I know you guys can all agree because I didn't like that person's vibe, felt something a little weird, interesting. Wow, I really connected with this person. It felt good, it felt right. That's what face-to-face does. Where when you've got the strange phone call or the cold call, you don't always feel that. You do the best you can. You're trying to get that through the phone, but it's not the same. Now, email. You can delete an email in a second. You look at it, you either like the subject line, you don't like the subject line, it's too much wording, or you can go back with something that we talked about in previous classes, which is using Cloud HQ. And Cloud HQ lets you have a video HTML there so then they can see a video. Now that can be that much more helpful, which I agree, because now they can see your face, hear your voice, get the vibe, okay? You cannot delete a door knock or a cold call. You can't really delete what you've already heard, and you can't really delete what you've seen and who you've met. So email blasts, they're not always particularly effective. There's a lot of spam filters right now, really sophisticated spam filters, and people are using them because they're inundated with emails every single day. A lot of them, they ignore them. I know I ignore tons of them. I get so many and it's junk. I wish I would have never put my phone number in or my email in, right? And most importantly, none of these approaches allow for that human interaction unless you're doing kind of that video, like I said. Now, technology can be integrated with door knocking. So I know I'm working with my partner right now. We want to integrate even more so using different techniques to include on a door hanger in our door knocking. That way the old school methods are more targeted and more effective. But it doesn't mean that if you're not using that technology that it can't be effective. Okay, so I want you to know that there's different ways to do it. Now, when we're door knocking, you've got to know what your intention is. So what is your intention? Well, the intention should be as simple as I need to meet new people. I'm looking to meet with homeowners. I'm looking to meet with renters. Now, I say buyers because that homeowner also is a buyer, but renters because I'm going to come across people that are in a home I'm unaware of, perhaps absentee owner, and they're renting. Okay. My intention is to get recognized as the local realtor. I want to be the one that they connect with and go, oh, okay, so you live in this area, you work in this area, you know the market, you know the community, you know the happenings. What's happening in this area. So I happen to live in the city of Corona, California. And recently there is, I've lived here for going on 26 years. And there is an orange grove that was very coveted and loved on because we're a citrus city. Well, long story short, all of these trees were cut down. A beautiful home and owner had lived there for years and years and years. And he became very elderly and had been trying to sell this home for a very long time. The home is zoned commercial and residential. So he did really well. He sold it off. And now all the trees are cut down and they're putting up a 52,000 square foot, 24-hour gym. Okay, who needs another gym for 24 hours? Well, everybody has the right to do whatever they want with their real estate and it's zoned that way. So it is what it is. My point in bringing up the story is when you live in your area, you want to get recognized as knowing what's happening. It becomes our responsibility. That's where territory management comes in. And you start to share the happenings of what's going on. You know, when is the new Amazon Fresh coming in? What's going on with these new builds that are coming in? How many were sold over here? You know, what is happening? You're also establishing your brand. So you want people to recognize your logo, your colors, your face, and everything that comes with it, with your consistency in what you put out on their doors, okay? And of course, your intention is to build your database. So we are daily working as entrepreneurs building a business to build our database. We know that. Now, I want to bring something up early on about sparking curiosity and intrigue when we're out there. People are standoffish a little bit about people knocking doors because people got inundated with solar. Solar became this, you knew every single time the door was knocked on or the doorbell rang, it was a solar guy or girl, okay? They still come around. Sparking curiosity and intrigue means that you need to dress appropriately. Listen, they understand in the world of door knocking who the termite guy is, who the solar guy is, with the clipboard, with the whatever, and then the ones that are dressed up very specifically might be selling religion. And so you need to dress appropriately, but stand out, be non-threatening and still stand out. So I'm even thinking about how I have to change up my dress a little bit so that I still look as professional enough that they would want to engage with me and know that I'm a professional, not just blending in with the crowd, if that makes sense. I've got to have either my hat with my logo on it, or maybe look a little different, dressed up in a way that sparks their curiosity and they're intrigued a little bit more, if that makes sense. If you have any thoughts on that, let me know. I'm open to hearing. Now, of course, we have to have door knocking safety. I couldn't do that without making sure we talked about that as we move into it. Go with a buddy. Going alone, obviously, it isn't safe to go alone anywhere anymore these days. Share your route with someone who's local. So if you have somebody in your office, your husband, your spouse, a great good friend, say, hey, on Mondays, I'm going here. This is my route. I'm going to be there from 11 to 12. I'm going to be knocking these doors in these streets. I'm going to let you know when I start and I'm going to let you know when I finish. Can you check in on me? Okay. Really important that somebody knows where you're going to be. Now, always have your phone charged. I learned that the other day going, oh, shoot, I made a mistake. I didn't plug it in all the way and I was down to like 20%. Have a charger with you, charge your phone, and make sure that you have, your hands free as well. Good morning, Atanas. Have your hands free, have them available. You shouldn't be where you are carrying a lot of stuff and you can't take care of yourself if you need to, okay? Wear good running shoes. You may need to run from a dog. Okay, I've had many experiences with a dog and I've had to run. You may feel uncomfortable. I knocked a door and then I had somebody who wanted to sell me drugs and followed me. So I had to start walking a little bit faster until I decided, I think I'm going to run around the corner. Listen, we have to be safe, okay? Have mace. Have something loud sounding, some kind of device available that will draw attention. Have something that will help you if you are not a brown belt, black belt, or even a white belt, whatever belt you may or may not be, have something available to take care of yourself and to bring attention to the fact that you need help, okay? I like to carry dog treats for loose dogs or a dog that's upset or angry, nervous, scared, or whatever. If you have a dog treat with you, have them in your pocket. And make those available to a dog just in case they're nervous or scared, and get them away from you and move and run away really quick. All right. Let's talk about lead generating, this prospecting tool. Yes, we know that it requires a mix of strategies. Digital is good. We're using digital. You've probably been using it for years now. Now you're using social media. Great. Nothing is going to replace face-to-face contact. Nothing. I remember knocking doors in an area and there was a gentleman here that he'd been knocking doors for years and years and years and years. And I come across this one seller, just watering their lawn or whatever. And as we got to talking, I really like you. I really like what you're sharing with me. You're giving me some great information. And he said, but I'm going to tell you something. As much as I appreciate what you're sharing, and I feel a really good connection and vibe, I'm going to tell you that if I'm really ready to list my home, I'm going to list with Mike Smith. because Mike Smith has been coming around for the last 2 or 3 years, dropping me off great information. I've met and spoke with him many times, and I appreciate his follow-up. And we've made a really good connection for a long time. I feel like I have a relationship with him now, and he's become my realtor, even though I'm not ready to sell. True story. His name is actually Richard, by the way, and I won't give his last name out, but I learned from that point on that relationships were being made face-to-face in an amazing way with homeowners. And there was this trust factor, and they appreciated the follow-up. Okay, so it didn't matter how many emails were being sent out or what was going on digitally. He felt that that was his person. He made a choice. So in the age of technology and remote working, we're all working in our homes, we're inside our safe little zones. Door-to-door sales is very much alive and well. How many times have you ever gotten, you're sitting at home and you're working and the doorbell rings? It's not as often as it used to be, but I really applaud those people that are doing it, okay? It takes grit, it takes persistence, and a never say die attitude, okay? So you've got to be successful at door knocking. To do that, it takes a desire to want to meet people. You have to want to meet people every single day, somehow, some way. Cold calling is not meeting people. It is following up, and that's still a great way to lead generate if you're doing it correctly. But you have to have this desire to want to meet people face to face. You got to have a plan and a schedule with some marketing pieces ready and available that I'm going to go over and share some with you. Okay. You need to canvass a neighborhood consistently on average 3 times a month. 3 times a month. And you're looking to talk with 90% of those residents at some point in time as you work. Okay. The average realtor can create 1 lead for every 50 doors that they knock on. So if you're knocking a door 50 doors a day, 5 days a week, you've met 5 people face to face, where maybe you wouldn't make that many connections in the week, right? So that's only knocking 50 doors. Imagine if you raise that. Okay, your conversion ratios are higher with face-to-face no matter what, generating a sale. They're either going to do something or they're ready now to do it with you, or they're going to refer you. They're going to say, I really like you. I'm going to introduce you to my son, my daughter, my niece, my nephew. I was just at a barbecue, whatever it is. Okay, so I know a lot of this sounds like common sense, but the doors will be open to those who are bold enough to knock. If you're not knocking, you're not seeking business. You're not seeking to meet anybody new. So you've got to be bold enough to say, I'm going out there. I'm going to do it. Why not? Sitting behind my desk isn't going to get me anywhere. And I can make a lot of phone calls, but people aren't picking up. So if they're not picking up, I'm going to go see who's at home. How many people are working at home now? What is the percentage of people working at home? They said that the average percentage, and I couldn't find it, and I was really trying to find it because I like to, whenever I give that information, tell you where I got it from. But I think it was like Fox News. And they had said in the beginning of February or March that the percentage of people working at home now is over 75%. That's amazing. So people are home. And we're thinking they're not home, where before COVID, people weren't at home as much. They were commuting and going to work. So what just happened? The advantage that I have to meet people at home now is over 75% of people at home. Now, could we be interrupting them at home? Sure. Are they always working? No. And it depends on whether you're door knocking or you're door dropping, right? But you got to be bold enough to knock. Now, the benefits of door knocking, you either love it or you hate it, right? I love it. I hate it. Never going to do it. Done it before. Had a horrible experience. But it has great benefits of becoming the realtor of choice. That's what Richard got. And I really admired Richard. And even though I did get 1 listing out of doing what I did, those clients are still past clients today. They actually live in my neighborhood. And they had a different connection with me. They didn't have a connection with Richard. So you never know. But that's the benefit. The benefit now is you're building your database, but do you want to become the realtor of choice in a specific neighborhood? Everybody should say, yes, of course I do. Of course you do. So the benefits, number one, low cost. What is the cost? If meeting new people is part of my daily database building, I need to find ways that don't cost me a lot of money, because mailing is going to have a cost to it to get into that mailbox. I believe mailing is super important because you get into their home, okay? But with minimal cost and some sweat equity, this low cost option generates conversation. I want to have conversation with people. When we were doing our database or our business plans in the beginning of the year, we talk about how many people I need to talk to per day to be able to get so many conversions. Well, I need conversation. Okay, so that's going to generate me an opportunity to find out what's going on in people's lives, when and where my pipeline might be going. So if I talk to somebody now, we're in 5 is Alive right now, you guys. 5 is Alive stands for April to August, A to A. Our business is A to A. So the best months cyclically of the year are April to August, when people make decisions. They've been like that for years. It's cyclical. It's been proven statistically. So right now in April, I need to get my butt out there. I need to have conversation. Generating conversations means I need to meet people face to face. It's low cost. I'm going to generate new leads. Second benefit, I'm aiming at a specific target. So I'm in better control. You're in better control of your conversation and situation, knowing the area that you're knocking and targeting the target that you're going after. So if you are knocking a neighborhood where you are talking to condos and they're full of renters, then you might be talking about the targeted specific loan program, first time buyer, etc. If you're working in an area where it is full of absentee owners and you know that those people are renters and first time buyers, same thing, target. If you're working in an area where people have been living for 18 plus years and they have a lot of equity, your targeting is now towards upsizing, downsizing, right? Maybe moving out of state. So your conversation is going to be geared specifically to what's going on in that neighborhood, even though you always need to know what you're going to say, okay? Third benefit, you stand out from the competition. So if you stay at home today all day and you work from home, tell me how many times your doorbell rings. How many times has your doorbell rang this week? How many times has it rang last month? Who's coming to your door? Amazon? Uber Eats? That may be who's coming to your door because you asked them to come to your door. The average agent does not include it in their marketing strategy or pillar of lead generation. That's the average agent. So if you're saying, you're right, MJ, I talk a lot very metaphorically at Coaching Tanko 2 because we talk about the oxygen that you need to go deeper. If you stay at the surface in the ocean, you're at the surface with a lot of people with your little snorkel and you're enjoying what you see. But the person that's going deeper and finding the lobster and the starfish and the cool, awesome things are the ones that get all this oxygen and go, I'm going deeper. I want to go further. I want to explore. Then you need to stand out from the competition. And you're going to stand out above the rest if you get out of your seat and move and go meet people. It's going to happen other than you sitting and waiting. Okay, so you're going to stand out because the average agent, we knocked a door last week, and I know it hasn't happened to me yet in the door knocking I've been doing recently, but my partner said, yeah, she met with a realtor and she goes, I'm a realtor. And you almost want to go, how does it feel that I'm knocking on your door and you're not knocking doors? It's more of a joke, but anyway, you stand out, right? Boost your brand identity. So we're all trying in the digital world to boost our identity with TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and we're all doing what we can, but we're in a sea, an ocean, bringing back my metaphor of confusing people not knowing who the right person is. And you're going to get lost in this ocean of scrolling right? Unless you have an amazing message and you're got a great call to action, you're leading them there, and you have a system and a great plan with your social media marketing. Are you all going, yes, I know what you're saying, MJ, because it can get a little bit overwhelming, which I don't like that word. I work really hard. That's a cuss word for me. I don't want to be overwhelmed. I want to be organized with my thoughts, my plans, and my schedule, my strategies. So boosting your brand identity is you showing up, showing your face, delivering your branded marketing material, and that identifies who you are clearly to everybody. So you're establishing a name brand for the future. Richard did it. I did it when we were the Porches Group, and Eagle Glen in my city of Corona was a brand new area that was up and coming and evolving, and new homes were being built. We sold so many, we listed so many, but we worked that area and we knocked doors. People got to know who we were, but there was a little bit more competition during that time, and I was up against one particular agent. And again, we both established a good name brand for our future, and it continued to grow seeds for us. Okay. Oh, that should be number 5. It increases credibility and conversion. So you get your message across really clear when you share what? Your marketplace knowledge. The credibility that you know what you're talking about in your area just goes through the roof, right? So you're boosting your lead conversion with a very specific value proposition, and you need to be scripted. You can't just go out there and go, oh, I don't know what I'm going to say. Okay. It might be based on the targeted message you have, but if you're talking about what just recently happened, or, hey, did you know that if you wanted to go down to the city planning commission is having a meeting, like everything that's going on in your marketplace, including values, is important. Okay, so you're increasing your credibility, and that's going to increase your conversion because they're going to know, well, she knows what she's talking about. He knows exactly what they're talking about, what he's talking about. He definitely knows this city. He knows what's happening in the area. Now, you need to develop your strategy. What am I going to do? First of all, I'm still trying to figure out whether I like it or not, whether I want to do it or not. I'm scared. Who am I going to go with? I don't want to do it alone. And it is different from farming, but it can have its similarities. So first of all, let's talk about choosing properties that have equity as developing a strategy. Choosing properties that have equity, those people are going to be upsizing or downsizing, right? They're going to be making moves. They have something to work with. Okay, so that's an idea I'm just going to throw your way. You also want to choose in developing where you're going to go. It's got to be walkable. If you're going up and down hills and you can't get to where you want to go as quickly, you really need to think about how big your territory is going to be. If it's walkable, you can get to a minimum of 100 a day if you're walking alone, and 200 maybe with a buddy. Okay, so now you've dropped 200. Now you've done 200 in a day. I'm now shooting for maybe even 250, hint, hint, because I'm wanting to expand what we're actually going to be doing. But it's got to be walkable. So careful with the up and the down hills if you're choosing an area that you want to really focus on. Now, door dropping or door knocking. What's the difference? Big difference. If I'm going to knock on a door, it means that I'm ready to share something that I'm leaving as a value proposition. If I'm door dropping, it means I'm trying to canvas and get out this message to follow up and now go back and knock on the door and say, did you get my door hanger? Did you get this information? And then I'm going to have it ready to go with another piece of information if I get to talk with someone. Okay, so you can go and door drop, just drop, 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 drop. If you're dropping, you can do quite a few. Okay. Now, you still knock on the door, but you knock on the door softly. No one comes to the door, you drop. Go to the next one, you drop. Your intention, get out your 100, get out your 200, get out your 250. You can do this pretty quickly in a walkable area. And I'm now sharing this with you because I've been recently doing it as well, but I've done this in the past and it's been a very great lead generating source for me as well. Okay. The difference is when you're door knocking, your intention is to talk to people. Your intention is to share the information that you've got, right? Now, I love this saying. Who doesn't love this saying? Because it's an old saying. If you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. So I don't want to fail to prepare my strategy, my ideas, my neighborhood, what my intentions are and where I'm going, because then I'm just going to be doing it for nothing. And it's still sweat equity and I want it to work. So I need to be in preparation. Choosing the schedule for your door knocking. All right, so some of you, if you're at all skeptical and you've never done it, has anybody ever door knocked or not door knocked? Who has not door knocked before, like ever? Atanis, have you door knocked? Adela, I think you've door knocked. Nancy, I know you've door knocked. So choosing your schedule is important. If you have never door knocked, I want to help get you excited about door knocking, okay? So you got to put it on your schedule at least a minimum to 2 to 3 days a week. You're supposed to be talking to people every day, right? I need to be talking to a minimum of 6 to 8 people a day, connecting and having conversations, contacts, conversations. So 2 to 3 days a week should be minimum. Prepare your consistent marketing value that you're going to deliver monthly. What are you going to deliver? All right, what, MJ? Well, if you have a specific target message, then have your specific target message, and it may be for that area. You're also going to want to do maybe a market update of what's happening, or you can also do a newsletter on city information and maybe some real estate advice. You can include testimonials, things like that. But preparing your marketing value that you're going to offer depends on what area you're working. So I'm going to give you an example of what we're currently doing right now. And none of this is a secret. So, you know, I want everybody to be successful. So currently we've chosen an area where there's a lot of equity, and possibly based on maybe when the homes were purchased, you can't know for a fact, but the area in California, we have something called Prop 19. And Prop 19 is for homeowners that anyone on title that's the age of 55 years or older can take their property tax base currently, especially if it's lower, move to an area where their property tax base is higher and transfer it there. It's also for severe disabled people and anybody in a wildfire disaster area. So we're targeting this specific area. Meanwhile, there's going to be people that are absentee owners in this area as well. There's a select few. And then on the backside of I know you guys can see it now, on the backside, it moves a little bit. There is information about a specific loan program for anyone who is a first time or repeat buyer. Now, I'm getting these door hangers from Home Warranty. So most home warranty companies are offering door hangers. All you need to do is grab the door hanger. Sorry, I don't use what they have on here. I take it, I create my flyer on Canva. Okay, so I'm creating this. I know you guys can't see it, right? I create this on Canva, and then I simply fold it over and put it on the door hanger, and I staple it. That's it. That's the specific target message. If you're targeting renters, then it could be rent versus buy, whatever, your specific target message. When we follow up, we knock doors, then we can say, did you get our door hanger? We also market update, what's going on in the neighborhood, what's happening. And then the next one would be a newsletter on city information and real estate advice. Does that make sense? Is that making sense? Now you've got to have a plan. What's your campaign, right? And the more consistent you are, they're going to be expecting it. You want them to have a good expectation of what you're bringing. So I'm going to make a suggestion. By any means, you can do anything that you feel that you wish would work well for you. You're going to choose a minimum of 400 to 500 homes. That's all you need. You don't need, you could do 400 and be fine. 500, I would say, is just fine. If you have a group and you're working with a team, then you can have a larger amount of homes. But if it's you and a buddy, 400 to 500 homes. All right. Your goal, what's the goal? To establish meeting people in the neighborhood. You want to meet people. You want them to recognize your face and see that you are bringing value. You're the person to talk to, realtor of choice, right? So I'm looking to talk to owners. I'm looking to talk to renters face to face. In a 6 to 9 month period, I want to see what all my efforts are going to do. I'm building my pipeline. You're building it right now for April to August. I need to build a pipeline of people. Database is key. So am I collecting names, numbers, where they live, their brother-in-law wants to move, their son is looking to buy, what's going on, okay? Campaign example. If I'm knocking 5 times a week, let's say I'm only doing 50 doors a day, that's knocking. Knocking is going to take a little bit more effort because I'm going to wait for them to come to the door, okay? So I'll do this 5 times a week. It could take me 45 minutes to an hour, okay? Let's say you choose to do the later afternoon, 4:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday, or you could do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and include a Saturday. Choose the hours that you think would work. We recently have been doing 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, 10:30 to 11:30, and people are home. People are home. You can hear them. You knock on the door. They don't want to come. They're trying to check it out, see what's going on. As soon as you walk away, they go and they see what's on the door. People are home. Over 75% working remotely from home. Okay. So you're establishing your brand, who you are, that you're not dropping off junk. You're sharing information, value. Who do you want them to know you are? What specialty do you offer, etc. Right? Now, you can drop, that means that you're just hanging it 2 times a week on a different week. So let's say the following week, you just drop 250 each time, just get through it. If you do it 2 times a week, let's say you do it Monday and you do it Friday, then maybe you go back on Saturday and you knock doors, right? It could take you 2 to 2.5 hours a day. We should be talking on the phone if we're doing hard cold calls or follow-up calls anywhere from 2 to 3 hours a day anyway. So why not get out there, get some vitamin D, establish your brand, talk to people, and see who you're going to meet. You end up meeting people that are coming out, getting ready to leave, watering their lawn. I want to see people. Never know who you're going to meet. Okay, so that's an idea. Right now, I did a little bit of math, just playing around. So let's say, for example, I knocked 50 doors Monday through Friday. And if I'm going to meet 1 person a day, that's great. But let's say I met 5. Let's say 5 of them are home. All right. So I've got 5 people and I've got, let's say I did that for 6 weeks. Right, then I've got 30 people now that I've met, and that's better than an open house. Now, I can still do an open house on Saturday and maybe 30 people will come in. So I'm not saying you can't do that, but just imagine. Now, if I drop 250 one time and 250 another time, and I meet another 5 people each time I go out there, now I've got a total of 40 people in a matter of 2 weeks. So 40 people times 6 months, that's 240 people in my database that I wouldn't have had cold calling, right? Yes, good question. Once you meet someone door knocking, do you continue to knock their door each time? Yeah. Yes, because now you're looking to establish rapport and make a connection with them, unless they literally tell you, please don't ever come back, which I doubt. But that's how you establish. The Fedig family was someone that he was a really tough person, and he was in that area that I was sharing where Richard was always there. And I just kept going back and saying, how are you? How are things going? They weren't looking to move for 2 or 3 years. When the time came, he listed with us. And it was because I just kept door knocking. I just kept saying hi to him. I just kept dropping good things. So yes, you continue to do that. And then I was just sharing with you, if you kind of do the math, you can meet up to 240 people in 6 months versus trying the way maybe you're doing it now and you're not meeting anybody. You're doing the stranger phone call thing. How many people are we meeting on social media? But it's hard enough just to get people to engage and give us feedback. I'm not meeting anybody. I'm in a sea, in a world of scrolling, and they're scrolling and scrolling, and they're getting entertained by people that are dancing and doing TikTok and other things, and they're laughing, but are they taking that person maybe seriously to say, I'm picking up the phone? Not necessarily. That doesn't mean that you may not be establishing a brand a certain way. I'm not knocking that. What I'm saying is now I have met someone. We've had a conversation. We've engaged in dialogue, and I'm establishing who I am and the value that I bring. Okay. So dropping 2 times, let's say 250 each time. Let's say you only do 100, 200. You do it 2 times a week. Do the math. It'll take you anywhere from an hour to 2.5 hours. Each time you do it, it's a day well spent with a lead generating productive activity. Okay, that is a productive generating activity. Now you can actually say, I went out there, I talked to people. People drive by and go, who are you? What's going on? They're coming home early. You never know. Choose the day that works for you and try different days. Okay, what do you drop? All kinds of things. You can drop just listed and just sold. You can drop an open house invite. I do want to tell you that we recently invited all of the neighbors to a listing that we had. And I know it's kind of hard for you guys to see it unless I back it up, but it says your neighbors at such and such street and the Portis Group or Chapeau Properties or the name of your company cordially invite you to an open house neighbor preview on such and such day. Okay. And this particular one says, hello neighbors, something special will be waiting for you when you RSVP text such and such to this number. And what we would do is if they would do that, we would have something ready and prepared for them. That tells me that they live in the neighborhood. They are an owner. Now I know, oh, are you a homeowner or are you a renter in the neighborhood? I have you on a list. What's your name? I have something special for you. What are you going to give them? Are you going to give them a little package? Are you going to give them a little something because they came out of their way? Maybe you give them a cookie. Maybe you give them some information about what you do. Maybe you give them a promotional product. Do you see my point? You can have an RSVP text me this particular thing. We had see you at Sunrise because the property's name was Sunrise Court. And it said RSVP text, the letter CU, the @sign, Sunrise and the phone number. Okay. I suggest you use Google phone numbers. They're much better than having your phone number, being messed with all the time, if that makes sense. So open house invites, they work, people show up, then you know that they were an owner or a person in the neighborhood. Obviously market updates, your target message to a seller, to a buyer, to a renter, to 55 plus, to an absentee owner that maybe they're there and that person happens to be a relative or whatever. So I just bring that up. Newsletter. So your newsletter, you can attach your newsletter to a door hanger. And the way we used to do it, I was looking for mine, but you have your newsletter, okay? You have a newsletter and you simply staple it nicely with a rubber band or something, put the rubber band and put that on the door hanger or on the door. Your newsletter can be 2-sided, little information about what's happening in the area, something about you. Maybe on that newsletter, you have testimonials, success stories, what's going on. Help them learn about you. What else do you drop? Loan programs, very specific loan programs. If there's a garage sale in your neighborhood and you're participating in a garage sale or you're going to create a day, hey, are you interested? I'm putting on a neighborhood garage sale. Text me at this number, tell me if you want to be on the list. I'll be providing the garage sale signs. Oh, why not? If you're having a garage sale between this time and this time, I'll bring donuts. Get their information, grab this information, okay? So you can drop that kind of stuff. What about a local event? If there's a local event and you want to share about it, your information can be on one side and you can be offering something that's going on in a local event that maybe they didn't know about. Maybe you know that down at the high school, they're doing a free shredding. That's my example right now, just to give one. So if you know about it, tell them, because that doesn't necessarily mean that they know. It means that I'm the local realtor. I'll keep you up to date with what's going on. And just in case you didn't know, remember, you're only choosing a 400 to 500 target territory to get familiar with, to get to know all of these residents. And they're going to count on you to bring them a lot of value. Is that making sense, you guys? Is this like thumbs up, thumbs down? I'm never going to door knock. What are you thinking? Now, what you say matters. So you can't just show up and not know what you're going to say. If you wing it, it's not like you're an idiot. Nobody's an idiot. Okay. I hate that word, actually. I think it's a horrible word for anybody to be called. So never call yourself an idiot. I don't know what to say. You're not dumb. You're not an idiot. You're a powerful person, okay, with God-given gifts, and you're in sales. So even though you can wing it and you can use the power within you to say good things, don't go out there unprepared. Be prepared to know what you're going to say. If it's going to be geared around your specific message, then you should know everything about Proposition 19. You should know everything about that loan program enough. You should know everything about what you're sharing in the neighborhood so that you can give information about it. So an example, you meet somebody cold, you have no connection, you're just trying to establish yourself here and you're just getting started. Oh my gosh, they opened the door. What do I say? Well, you can say something like this. Hello, my name is MJ. I'm a local real estate agent with CTO2 Properties, and I'm sharing information with the neighborhood here regarding Proposition 19 and a very specific program for first-time buyers and repeat buyers. It could be whatever the reason for your visit may be. Were you aware of this? Yes, no. Carry on, move on. Well, one of the benefits that I want to share with you is, by the way, are you a homeowner? And now you get into asking really great questions. Are you the owner? Are you related to the owner? Are you renting the home? You know, how long have you lived here? And now you're learning, okay? Were you aware of this program? Were you aware of this specific tax benefit, etc.? Or you can just go straight up and say, well, have you considered making a move in the coming months? Right now, the market update is really sharing that we're in the time, in the cyclical, time where properties tend to sell a little bit higher than normal because people make moves during this time, right? Or whatever service you're offering. So opening scripts are important. They open the door and they're like, what do you want? Open the door. Why are you here? What do you got? Okay, I usually say this. It's an old saying that my dad used to say, and my dad was very kind to people, and so was my mother when they opened the door. And they open the door. They always open the door. They used it for many other reasons as well, to be able to share with them what they would want to share. But, they would say, or my dad would say, hey, what's your story, Glory? What do you got? And now you're on stage. Okay, well, this is what I've got. I'm just sharing. I'm a local realtor, dress appropriately, get them excited about what you have. You're here to offer information, something valuable that they can take with them. Okay. If it's a cold opening and you didn't get the listing in your area, I wanted to give this idea. You got to have an opening script, right? Hi, my name is MJ. I'm your neighbor and a local real estate agent with CTO2 Properties. Now, I noticed that our neighbor just put their home on the market for $950,000. And this is a desirable area. People are looking to move in this neighborhood. Now, of course, you can go on and say, how long have you lived here? I believe I can get a similar amount for this model. Do you have the same model? And would you be interested in selling if you got your price? Add in whatever you want in. The point is your opening script. If my dad opens the door to Adele or Nancy or Thomas or anyone that's watching and says, hey, how are you today? What's your story, Glory? You've got to have your opening script, and it's got to be powerful enough for them to go, I see why you're here. And they're going to listen to you. You can't just and get stuck, right? Now, make sure you have your good door knocking etiquette. Here's the thing. When you're door dropping, it's a knock, knock, quietly. People have babies that are sleeping. People sleep during the day. People might be recording. I know I'm recording. So if somebody rings the bell, they've ruined my recording. And I have to put a sign out there that says, please don't ring the bell. So don't ring the doorbell, okay? Knock softly, only twice. Step away from the door. Move away, it's non-threatening, and then wait. If they don't come after the second door knock, drop your information and move on. Okay, they clearly are not available. They're not ready. You're catching them at a bad time. No worries. As long as you drop what you want there. Okay. Now, if you see a no solicitors sign, don't knock or drop. Don't make it awkward. Seriously, do not make it awkward for somebody to have to get upset, get after you, and then really now tell the other neighbor next door or send out a message. There's too many places on nextdoor.com or whatever and say, you see this clown? I got no solicitors. They dropped me their junk. And now your name is out there and it's just sending a bad message. So if they don't want anything, no problem. Now, if you see someone, which I remember we were in Hesperia, the city of Hesperia, California here, and there was a lady that had a no soliciting sign. So I got to the front and it was really small. And then I was like, oh, shoot, I guess I'm not going to be able to. Now, she saw me in the window. And as I was walking away, I simply turned around because I heard the door open. And I said, hi, I'm a local realtor. We're simply inviting you to an open house. We're having your neighbors got their home for sale. And it might be your model match. I wanted to make sure that you knew about it so you could compare it to yours. And she went, oh, when is it? And I said, it's Saturday, blah, 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 street at 11 o'clock. Please come join us. Come check it out. Oh, okay. Literally dropped her guard, non-threatening. And she knew that I'm not selling anything. I'm offering information. That was it. People are tired of getting sold. We're getting sold consistently and it's old. Okay. So that's the old part of the old school where people are tired, but the traditional technique is having conversations and sharing value. Okay. So that number one. I know there was something else I wanted to say and it slipped my mind with what I was going to do right now. Shoot, I should have written it down as I was talking. So that's your door knocking, etiquette, right? You want to make sure that you are it's still their home, right? Oh, another etiquette. I'm just going to bring it up. Don't step on their grass. Do not step on people's grass. If they have stones, step on the stones. If you want to go through their driveway and go around cars or whatever, you're okay. But if they have steps, step on their steps. Now, this is what I was going to say. So a lot of people have these Ring doorbells now, and you are being recorded. You need to be prepared that you're being recorded. Okay. Smile. You should have a smile on your face. You should look like you're enjoying what you're doing. And if you get to a Ring doorbell that says you are being recorded and it literally starts, I have had that happen and I'm like, okay, I'm going to say, hi, local realtor sharing information today about tax benefits for anyone 55 plus or older. And there's a great loan program for first time and repeat buyers. It's offering up to 5% in down payment or closing costs. MJ Porches, Chapeau Properties. Bye for now. Say something. Don't just stand there or don't just leave and drop the door hanger. Okay. So trust me, just say something. You are being recorded. You're being looked at. Smile, look like you're enjoying it. And then be careful when you're walking out there. Be wise and see, people are stepping out or there's dogs. You got to be careful with a lot of those dogs out there, right? So this is door knocking and reviving it. And here's what I want to share. Get out there. Move, meet people. Sitting in your house is getting you nowhere. Unless you have an amazing campaign and social media is working for you, I'm not going to knock other lead prospecting opportunities. You have to have a good amount of lead generating pillars to give you strength. One of these lead generating pillars I want you to revive is meeting people face to face, right? Pick a route and go. If you're going to overthink it, you're never going to get out there. It makes no difference. If you got to call your title rep and say, hey, I got an idea today. I'm looking for 55 plus and older. I'm looking for homes that have been, people have been in their home for 15 plus years. Just give it to me. I'm going to pick 400 homes. That's it. And after you've chosen these 400, you're going to keep going and you're going to keep going and you're going to keep knocking and you're going to keep dropping. And it's going to become part of your regimen on a day-to-day basis, monthly basis. How many drops are you going to do? How many knocks are you going to do? And your goal is to build your database. You've got their home right in front of you. If you've met them and I met a lady named Elva, and I took a picture of her house. I remember she had a red door. She told me that her son was looking to buy. So I have one person that I can go back to and say, hey, did you talk to your son? Is there any way I can help him? So you've got to take notes. Take a picture of the house, write down your notes, move on. Okay. Your neighborhood is a great place to start. Duh. So you live there, you know what's going on. You want to keep values up in your neighborhood. You want to be able to talk about what's going on. You want to be sharing garage sales. You want to be helping people, your neighborhood. Pick a route, go, don't overthink it, okay? Now, fear, it's inevitable. Yeah. Some of you have fear of doing videos and you'll never do them. So then that's out. You're not using video. Some of you are not really utilizing your website the way you should. I still need a good website because the one that I had, I couldn't do it anymore. So I have to start again. But if I'm not using it to its full advantage, then what's the point? You're going to have fear whenever you start doing anything. Knock on the first door, get it over with, just get it out. After you knock on the first door and somebody comes to the door, it gets easier and easier and easier, especially when you know what you're going to talk about and you know what you're going to say. Okay. You've got to overcome it with skill. So you do need to be scripted. Don't wing it. You need to be prepared. Otherwise, you're really going to be like, oh, shoot, right? I wasn't ready. One of the things I wanted to share before we end, and really hoping, I had something here I wanted to share. Really hoping that you guys are a little bit more excited about it and not thinking to yourself, I don't really want to do this. I don't even know why I watch door knocking. I'm never going to door knock. Okay. Well, if you're not door knocking, then what are you doing to meet people face to face is the question. There are only so many open houses you can do unless you have a good array of listing inventory. Open houses are a great opportunity. The sweat equity is equal to putting up the signs. You still need to door knock and invite people to get out there to invite them to your open house, right? And then you wait. You're waiting for people to come versus I feel like I'm making an effort to go and move and talk and meet people and see who's out there and available. I have actually produced an opportunity for myself instead of waiting. So you can do both. But when you don't have an open house, get out of your chair and go meet people. Okay. Networking, of course, is another way, but right now we're talking about door knocking and, door dropping. This is your prospecting. This is a new way to prospect. When you're searching for clients, that's what you're doing is you're prospecting. That's essential to your business, right? You're qualifying people. You're finding out what their problems are, what their pains are, what their needs are, what their concerns are. And here's what happens. Once somebody tells you that they have a specific need, what do you end up doing? Going and finding out how to solve the problem. If they have a need for a resource, we're looking to put tile in our home. I don't think we're going to be moving. We had a recent leak. We're looking to put a roof on. Is there a resource I can help you with? I'd love to introduce you to people. Connect with them, build rapport with them, and then go out and find the resource for them. Come back and say, hey, Elva, you told me that you were looking for somebody to put a block wall. I've got a couple of people that I wanted to introduce you to. And now what's happening? You are becoming a person that they trust, that they appreciate. Are you guys getting this? Are you tracking with me? The huge benefit that you have by being able to connect with people in a way that you can even be the person that offers amazing resources, right? And then you go back and you solve a problem that they may have, introduce them to a tax person, introduce them to somebody that they can put their home in a trust. There's people that are passing away. You don't want people to go into probate. So maybe one of your messages is don't go into probate. Let me tell you how to stay out of probate. Hey, have you ever thought about putting your home in a trust? Hey, maybe that's in your newsletter. Take these people that you are going to hone in and become responsible. So I've called it my area of responsibility. It's my territory. This is my area. I want to be responsible to provide them good resources, good value, help them to have a great asset, keep the properties up in value, making the homes look nice. Are you tracking with what I'm saying? And then if there is a need, then I'll come back and provide them the answer to their need or introduce them to the resources. Yes, it is my area of responsibility. Yes, it's my AOR. I've called it that for years and years and years and years, and along with territory management. Okay. Now, your pitching, you do need to have your call to action. Okay. Your call to action, it's really, really important. I think I've had that there. Don't forget what your call to action is going to be. What do you want them to do? Don't forget, I want them to go to my website. I want them to text me here. I want to lead them back to a video. I want them to call me because they're this person, they're 55 plus, they have this specific need. Okay, they don't have enough money to buy. They need down payment assistance. They are moving out of state. I've got people in every state that I can refer you to. If you're a new build specialist and you're going to offer incentive, if you're looking for incentive when you buy a new build, call me, text me, go to my website, watch a video. Okay. So when you make an offer, you've got to describe the benefit to your prospect. That's your pitch. What's the benefit of working you and what's the call to action? Lead them to what you want them to do. Otherwise, it's not going to get you any feedback. I want a door drop, but I want to get them to do something. One of the things that I'm looking to do right now, and I'm finding that it probably won't be as hard as I thought it was going to be, it's just going to take some effort, is on your door hanger, create a QR code or give them a link that they can go back and watch a video of you. So if they didn't meet you, now they can see you on YouTube. You can share a little information. It's a 45-second, 1-minute blurb, sharing something about Prop 19 or 55 plus or that specific loan program or probates or trust, whatever it is. Lead them back to meet you because they haven't met you because you were just dropping. And maybe it's a first introduction to the area. Hi, I'm your local real estate agent. My name is MJ Porches with Chapeau Properties, and I've lived in the neighborhood for over 26 years. I'm introducing myself to you as I've chosen this area of responsibility to keep you up to date with the marketplace, what's going on in the city, what is happening with real estate, the values, the trends, and share with you anything that might be of benefit to you if you're looking to sell, looking to buy, or you have somebody that wants information on trust, probate, whatever it is. Do an intro video and get them to go watch that. And now you start building your video library. Now you have somebody specifically, because you're going after these 400, 500 homes, getting them to watch versus the scrolling that people aren't watching your videos all the way through. Okay. And then of course you do need to learn some closing techniques on how to close them and make sure you're asking for their information, asking if you can come back. Okay. So that you can stay in touch with them. What's a preferred method of me staying in touch with you? May I come back and drop off some information? When was the last time you had your home evaluated? Do you know how much your home is worth? You know, things like that. And of course, you've got to follow up. Follow up, follow up, follow up. That's the fortune, right? You're building relationships with these people in your area of responsibility. You are the realtor of choice. So is door knocking dead? You need to bring it to life big time, because your haven't met groups, the people you have not met yet, is a big group of people that you haven't met. So I have people that I've met. I call them my past clients. I call them my circle of influence or my sphere of influence, right? Circle of influence, sphere, and my past clients. I've already met them. They know me. I hope they trust me. I hope that they like me. They'll return a text or a phone call. Okay, great. I have another group called I haven't met yet. So now I've got to go get them into my circle and start meeting these people. And it's going to take time. We finally got to meet so many people in that specific area. And Eagle Glen was hundreds and hundreds of homes. It became a daily thing that my team did. People knew who we were. We had our wagon out there. We would drop things off for, you can do seasonal things. You can drop off pumpkins. You can drop off bags. You can drop off seeds. You could do whatever your heart's desire, building the brand that you want. And then they're getting to know, oh yeah, no, don't worry about it. That's just the Porches group. They're watching. That's what people would say. And I'd bring my dog, or I'd put my dog in the car, in the little wagon. My son would be in the wagon. It becomes your area. Mailing is a little more expensive, still doable, and still I recommend it, but that's a different strategy of lead generating. Okay. So these are your pillars of what we call door knocking success. And I really hope you guys got value out of that. Does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to share? Are you excited about door knocking now? Are you going to do it? Is your fear gone? Are you like, it's not for me, whatever?
I'm nervous about it, but I actually had another friend reach out yesterday who reached out to me asking if I can help her like with lead generation, which is funny because I really haven't done lead generations like that, but she's seen that I have some listings and some things in the past. So I'm gonna use this as practice and I'm gonna reach out to her and let's see if we can do it together.
Go for it. Go for it. It can't hurt, right? It's honestly, it definitely can't hurt. And we find that once you get out there, you actually like it. I mean, you do. Okay, you'll end up liking it. The other thing I was going to share as an idea, this is part of coaching that I've done for years and years. When you preview property, as you should, we should all be previewing property on a weekly basis. What's new in the area, what's not selling, even drive-bys. You can drive by a property and say, I want to keep up with what's going on. So let's say you just went and previewed a property. It was vacant. Okay, you go in or you get permission to go into this property. After you're done, you should door knock. Door knock 5 houses to the left, 5 to the right, 5 going forward. You should door lock a minimum of 15 properties. Why? First of all, many times the owners themselves didn't get a chance to go to the open house. You don't even know if there was an open house in the property. Some of them were nervous about going because they thought maybe the owners were going to be there and they didn't want to feel like they were just peeking at their house. For whatever reason, they may not have seen the home. They don't know what's going on. They don't know the activity. They may have looked it up on Zillow and mind you, whatever, but you just previewed it. So now what you're going to do is knock on the door and say, hi, I'm a local real estate agent. I was just previewing your neighbor's property on 123 Apple Street. And I don't know, are you the owner of the home? Yes, I am. Have you had an opportunity to preview the property? No. Was there ever an open house on it that you got to see it? Yeah, but I was never able to attend. Okay, great. Well, listen, the question for you, that model is 2,483 square feet. Is that the same model plan, the house that you have? Is that your model? No, I have the 2,789 square foot model. Oh, okay, very good. So you're the owner, I'm assuming. Yes. How long have you lived here? Oh, we've been here for 15. You see what's happening? Are you tracking what I'm saying? Now, all of a sudden, I've just met a homeowner. I'm doing what? Having a conversation with somebody. I'm checking off the box of what I do for a living is talk to people daily about what? Real estate. I'm adding people to my database. And that just becomes a targeted door knock. What we talked about earlier was a very specific area of responsibility, territory responsibility that you're saying, I'm going to do it with consistency. But what if you just decided to preview a house and you're like, I'm going to go knock on the door. If you have permission to go show the property, would you like to go see it? I was previewing, but I still have permission to go and show it to you. Would you like to take a peek? Here's the reason why you would do that. Number one, if you have time, it could take you about 7 minutes. It doesn't take too long to just kind of go through it. Compare the property and its upgrades, amenities, what they've done to it, deferred maintenance, whatever the backyard, compared to what you've done to your home. Compare it to what you might want to do to your home. And then you can kind of put some thought around that, because I don't know, have you thought about selling in the coming months? I think you're tracking with me. I think you get it, right? They're very curious. They do want to know what's going on. Okay. So knock doors, very specific event after you preview, and see who you meet. 15 doors per preview. So if you preview 2 properties, it's 30 door knocks a day. If you preview 3, you get it? So I'm meeting people, I'm doing my job, and you're building your pipeline in your database. Plus you're building your knowledge of the market by previewing property. You're giving yourself an opportunity to practice your scripts and understanding what to say. And now your confidence level, no matter who you meet out in the area, you'll be able to share that with anybody, especially if you're working your neighborhood, okay, and your local area. Any other questions, comments? Any woohoos? Any, I'm not door knocking, I don't like it, I'm not gonna do it. I love it. I'm encouraged, I'm motivated. This is my cup that says crazy brave and wicked strong. So it takes boldness to get out there, okay? And the one who knocks seeks and finds. So you gotta knock.
I have a comment, MJ. Okay, so as you well know, I just recently started door knocking my neighborhood because I figured, okay, my neighbors need to know I'm a realtor. So I was a little apprehensive initially, but I had lovely conversations. It was extremely comfortable. It was great to get outside and exercise and just be outside. So now I really look forward to it, but it was getting over that little hump. But I just wanted to say working our own neighborhood is really good.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And bravo to you. Hats off to you, because you got over the fear of, and the apprehension. Let's just put it that way. I don't like to use the word fear too often because I don't have a spirit of fear, but we get apprehensive. It's the unknown. It's an area of unknown. And I don't know. Well, cold calling is unknown. Doing videos is unknown if you're not ready, right? Anything can give you apprehension. But here's my point. And again, hats off to you for doing that, because you're going to get such benefit out of your own neighborhood. People are going to get to know you, and you've lived there. If you've lived there for a long time, you're going to want to help people keep values up in the neighborhood. And you'll start finding out who's moving and what's going on. And, you know, you do learn that people are sick. People are hurting. People have people that are passing away. Changes in people's lives are happening on a daily basis, and you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You need to be careful, and you need to be guarded and keep that awareness up. But there are people that need help. And if we're leading them to that help, they're going to trust that they have someone in the neighborhood that cares, which is their neighbor. So why not start with your neighborhood? That's what I love about getting started there. So overcome it with that skill, knock on the first door, say what you're going to say, and then stick with it. You cannot give up if you decide to mail out. Mailing out, I did all the statistics about mail out. Watch that video. We did all class about direct marketing. So you have to be consistent with mailing. It goes in the trash. But if they're ready to do something and you didn't send them something in the next month, they're going with the person that happened to do the fluke. So you've got to stick with that area that you're going to be responsible for a good 6 to 9 months with major consistency. And then you can move into maybe changing it or seeing what happens. But once the seeds start sprouting, 5 is alive, April to August, this is the time to do it. Your business, your confidence, your brand, your conversion, your conversations, they're all going to go through the roof. Okay. But you have to give it some time, and you got to be bold. All right, guys, I'm all done for today. I hope you're more encouraged. Share anything that in the comments as I post this up on to our Coaching Tango 2 page. And I just hope that you guys are not discounting it. Got to be getting out there and doing a lot more lead generating. And this is one way. Get your vitamin D. Go out. Just do it. Move and meet people. Okay. I'll see you all next week. Bye for now. Have a good day.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Glad you guys were here. God bless you. See you soon.